Welcome to Everything House Music and More, and my special guest today is the one and only Mr. Byron Burke from Tent City. Byron, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Momo?
Hey, man, it's great to see you, brother. I mean, it was, man, I just lit up, man, just seeing you at the Chosen Few Picnic, man, this month.
You know, it's funny. I was not going to go at all. Like, you know what? I'm working on these other projects in Chicago, and my guy, Chef Ballard, he was like, man, bro, I want to go. Can you get me in?
Right.
I don't know, bro. But then all the stuff I'm working on, I say, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to show up and everything.
Well, good, man. So, and when I saw you, I was like, I got to get you on the show, brother. Got to get you on the show.
And you were the second person I saw when I walked in outside of, third person.
Okay.
So, because when I got to the VIP gate, ran to Kurt Townsend. He gave us the passes. Give him a pass. Give him a pass on.
Right.
And then he escorts us back to the VIP area.
Okay.
Then I ran to Robbie, the promoter from New York.
Right.
And then you the third one.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. So you ready to get into it, brother?
Yes, sir. Let's do this.
All right, so let's go. So B, were you connected to the house culture before connecting to house and the genre? And if so, how did you get introduced?
So this goes back to when I was about 12 or 13. I was going to Frederick Douglass Junior High School out in the west side of Chicago.
Okay.
And Sean Rob... Now, I was playing trumpet in junior high school.
Okay.
So my thing was, because this guy named Arthur who was played trumpet in, and when I first got there, he played like Chuck Mangione. It's amazing. Right. So that got me into that space. And then Sean Robinson, who was the youngest DJ on the west side of Chicago, my sister Valencia used to hang out with Sean's sister, Sabrina Robinson, and Sabrina Robinson dated Terrible Ted.
Ah, okay, from the west side.
From the west side. So Ted was teaching Sean how to mix. So I think one day my sister took me over to the house, and that's when I met Sean Robinson, and he had the 1100 turn techniques.
Ah, yeah.
So
the
I'm
classics, right?
I'm like, what the hell is this?
Right.
So I'm seeing Sean, little Jerry Curl dude, younger than me, just rocking them 1100s. I'm like, damn.
Now at the time, what type of music was he playing?
He was playing. He's playing stuff. I mean, because this, of course, Michael Jackson's Beat It was out, or Billie Jean. Okay. He was playing a lot of the Kraftwerk.
Okay. Gotcha.
The vinyls and stuff like that. Right. So, what's that? Dance you got
Divine.
Native
Rock. Yeah.
Calling All Boys. All that.
So
119.
So you playing all that.
All that stuff.
Okay.
So I would go over to his house and as if he allowed me to get on turntables to begin to learn. Right. And then my cousin who passed away, he died of AIDS, I could say 94, 95. Okay. He bought my first set of turntables, was the Technic SBL 10s. The belt driven.
The belt driven, yeah. And so what year was this when you first started DJ? What year was this?
So we looking at 82, 83. Okay. 82, 83.
Okay. So what people don't know, you was a DJ first.
I was a DJ first.
See, there you go.
I was a DJ first, and a dancer. Okay. Because as a kid, with my sister being in the fashion scene and being around those in the life, if they so to speak. Yes. She would bring home the mixtapes from like Frankie Knuckles and stuff like that. So her and her friends would be dancing. I was learning, catching, and dance. So I started off as a dancer first. And if we fast forward to like when dance was really popular in the mid 80s, like 84, 85, I was Mr. Shy, the Shy Boys on the west side.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah. So, okay.
So you was so back then. What was the term of dancing? Was they jacking back then? It was jacking. Okay. It was jacking. Whatever. Right. But yeah, I was Mr. Shy, the Shy Boys for the west side. So our competition was the Bad Boys. Okay. So that was the progression. Dance, trumpet, DJing, and then began to formulate all those things together. So let me ask you this: did you ever go to the warehouse or power plant or music back then?
I never went to the music box. And you talking about the power plant that was on? Was it on Halstead? Because I believe it was one on Halsted near Cabrini Green.
Well, I can't get the address. I'll make sure I'll get the correct address. But the one just Frankie was spinning at, that was definitely his club.
No, I never been in a warehouse. The power plant, no. Sawyer's Sours.
Sawyer's, yeah. Okay.
I went there. I went to the Music Box, I want to say maybe once or twice. And the time I did go was with Byron Stingley and Marshall Jefferson.
Okay.
And I think we had just finished doing Fix It Man.
Oh, wow.
The Ragtime.
Okay, right.
Or I Can't Stay Away.
Okay.
It was one or two. And Frankie, and Ron stayed there.
Right.
And he got up, let us in. He, all right, what you got? Dropped it. Oh, I'm playing that night. And I know that night.
Right.
It was my first time meeting Ron Hardy.
Okay. And
he dropped, like I said, it was Fix It Man. I'm kind of leaning towards I Can't Stay Away.
Right.
That he played.
Okay.
And then later on that evening, we just hung out and he just rocked that.
Okay, so being your musical background, you say you're playing trumpet. How long did you play trumpet for?
I played trumpet pretty much during my junior high school term.
Okay.
And then I, got away from it. And I picked it back up with 10 City because I played trumpet on All I Want.
Okay.
For I think the second album.
Right.
I played trumpet on that. And then being in the band, you learn, because when I came in, I was like in an orchestra. You get different sections, first seat, first section, or whatever. So I eventually made it to first seat, first trumpet,
right?
And then you get an idea of the different sections, and charting and stuff like that. So if anybody look at like my instrumental string section,
right,
that's how I was able to do that with keyboards and
okay. So let's go into this. How did you meet Byron Stingley? Okay,
so this was, I would say, 86 maybe. Now, at that time, I'm looking at all the guys from the South Side DJing and making records. Like, you know what? Fuck this.
Right.
If they can do it, I can do it.
So who were some of those guys at that time?
So you had Tyree Cooper.
Okay.
You had Steve doing stuff.
Steve Hurley.
Jesse Saunders. Right. Farley.
Okay.
Who else you had around that time? Mike Dunn.
Right.
So and I didn't realize that those guys are older than me.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he was always like the same age and stuff. Oh man, forget that. I'm gonna do this.
Right.
So that was the inspiration to like, you know what? I'm gonna stop spinning records and begin to pursue to make records.
Okay.
So my last party that I said it's gonna be my last party to DJ was over on the west side off of Chicago Avenue, a few blocks, I want to say, east of Cicero.
Okay.
And it was used to be a bakery.
Okay.
But they converted into like rehearsal studios, work on cars, stuff like that. So Byron Stingley was with this band called Dead 7.
Dead 7.
Dead
Okay.
7. All right.
Okay.
And the guy who created the group, from my understanding, his father passed away. He had got like a nice insurance policy
of the Dead 7, yeah.
And he was a major fan of Prince in the Revolution.
Okay.
So he took the name of Dez. He's a bass player, and so Byron Stingley was doing Prince Minneapolis music.
Ah, okay.
So if you Google Dead 7, Funny Love, that came out on Trax Records.
That's Dez, D-E-Z-Z.
Yep.
Right, Dez. That's Dez Grant, right? Or was that Dez Grant?
I don't know if that's Dez Grant.
Okay.
But he just went by the name of Dez because Dez played the bass with Prince and
Gotcha.
So that's how I met Byron Stingley down there. And I had just decided to stop making records. I want to, stop spinning records and start making records. And his group was about to break up. And I was just starting my group called B Root Incorporated, where I was signed to DJ International Records.
Okay. So you would sign to DJ International before anybody?
I signed with them.
Okay.
I had already signed with them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I signed with, and it's a funny thing. I got a contract from Rocky. He ain't even hit a record.
Really? So was the record ever put out?
Never put out. So I put a clause in the contract that I got to be in the studio within 6 months. If not, I got to have a record out within a year. If not, this contract is terminated.
Right.
So it terminated just in time for what time to deal with 10 City.
Wow. Okay, so how did 10 City begin then?
So 10 City began from the relationship of me and Byron Stingley coming together because I had just decided to not only make this jump and get in records, doing music, I actually quit school.
Right.
Dropped out of high school to take this pursuit. So the first day, so when I moved out, so when I got kicked out the house from my father,
right.
I stayed down in the rehearsal spot, and Byron Stingley just happened to come down. Now I was working on some tracks or whatever. He just came in the room and just started singing. I'm like, man, what's that? I'm just vibing off of you. So that created our first. That was the first introduction of me working with Stingley.
Okay.
And then from there, he introduced me to Marshall Jefferson.
Ah, okay.
And we did went in the studio and we did The Truth.
Okay.
Open Our Eyes.
Right.
So I was on that one. Kim Mazelle, Taste My Love.
Oh, so you guys did that record? Okay. And this was all before 10 City. So
it's all before.
This is what you guys just producing.
Yeah, all before 10 City.
Okay.
And I said, "Got Fix It, Man. I Can't Stay Away." And then for Fix It, Man, Herb Lawson was with this top 40 band that was right next door to where Dez had his situation.
Okay.
So we like, man, we need a good turn on this track. Let's get the guy from next door. So then Herb came down to the studio and we gave him a lick. He just came down, dropped it down. So that's what we started calling Herb One Take Herb.
Right.
And then just from that relationship,
yeah,
say, you know what? Marshall had took me and Byron Stingley out to New York.
Okay.
When we were as Ragtime.
Okay.
So we opened up for Marshall we did the Predator Garage twice.
Okay. Right.
And at the Predator Garage, the first night is straight night, the second night is gay night.
Right.
But after that whole event happened, I flew back to Chicago, and Byron Stingley and Marshall stayed in New York. And they met with Merlin Bob, who was on WBLS as a DJ and also the A&R for Atlantic.
Okay.
So when they came back, he said, "Hey, B, this was going on. We can do individual deals.
Right.
He get a deal, Marshall get a deal, I get a deal.
Right.
Or we can do a group." And he asked, "Okay, which route you want to go?" At that time, I was very insecure, nervous. I never wanted to be in the forefront.
Yeah,
so I said, "No, man, let's do a group. Who you want to get?" Now, Herb Lawson, like I said, he was with this top 40 band, and one of his the keyboard player of that band played the keyboards on I want to say Fix It, Man, and maybe on I Can't Stay Away.
Okay.
But his attitude and everything was just like way too much.
Right.
So Byron asked me, who would I want to decide to be part of the group? He said, his name is Guy Sharp. I said, no, not him.
Right.
Herb, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how you get 10 City.
Wow. So who came up with the name 10 City?
So it was a combination of all of us. And what I mean by that, we looked at me and Herb with the music as being intense, powerful, passionate.
Right.
So, and then Marshall and Byron looked at it as being like a utopia, or if you had the Olympics, the perfect score gives a 10. So we get to 10 City, utopia,
right?
The perfect number, and everything. So that's the whole thing about 10 City.
Wow. Okay, so Devotion was one of the first songs that I believe you had, and it was the old school like live band type of vibe. What was your thought when you guys first made that song?
Well, I'm gonna say Byron and Marshall on that one.
Okay.
But this is an interesting story about Devotion that most people don't know about. The version that everyone is aware of now is not the original version.
Really?
That's the second version.
Okay.
So the original version had live bass on it, Marshall singing on it. That motherfucker is raw as a bitch naked. I'm telling you, that song is hot.
Right.
So we sent the 2-inch to Atlanta, to New York. They said it was lost. So they do that whole motherfucker over again.
Oh, so that's why instead of all the live bass, it was all keyboards.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
The original version to me is raw.
And you don't have a copy of that?
Don't have a copy of it.
Wow.
It's on cassette somewhere. Somebody like, get that.
So Marshall sang the lead on it first.
He sang on it. Yeah, it's cold.
Okay.
It was nice. I'm telling you, the first time you do it, that's it.
Yeah. It's a vibe thing.
Yeah, so the second one's kind of like, to me, like, it's cool. Okay. But it did what it needed to do.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What makes 10 City a house act and not just a modern disco group?
I think what makes 10 City unique is that everyone has their own unique ability.
Right.
So, like with my background, like you said, I was someone that, you know, had an influence on the fashion scene. Or
yeah,
whatever.
because I think it was a whole culture, because it wasn't just because you was in the house group. You know, the way you wore the clothes you wear, you know, how you was dancing, your hairstyle. I think it all tied into the culture. So when I used to see UMB, I'm like, man, they definitely looked the part. You know what I'm saying? So how did that come out? Then let's talk about that. The culture of like with the clothes and everything like that.
So I mean, you have to go back to, you know, the Mendel days, or, you know, when we were doing music or whatever, going to clubs. You know, every social group,
right,
that I would say that was attracted to house music. So you had those that were bougie with their Izod's, right, Swiss or whatever. They pull up. Then you had your gay circle come up. Oof,
right.
You know, all that going on. Then you get your hood niggas that's like, yo man, bandanas. So you got to, you know, so it's catching the spirit of everybody, right, and incorporating into one space. Yeah. So for me on the fashion side, like I said, with my sister being in fashion, matter of fact, my sister had when was it Imam or Imani who was on Fashion Fair at one point? Yeah. She was getting ready to quit. My sister was supposed to take her place.
Oh wow.
You know.
Okay.
So being around her and just that whole space of fashion and everything. Right. I incorporate that, you know, to be able to do that.
So did you bring that to the group also?
Yeah, most definitely, because Herb Lawson, guitarist, rock group, whatever. Right. They not in that space. Byron Stingley, Prince.
Right. Don't tell me B had
yes. Yeah. He was like blouses, shirts.
You know he gonna get you for this, right?
I don't give a fuck. Pull up. And you know that shit's right. And don't have him look for a picture. There's one out there. All the funny love. Don't take your love from me.
Okay, wait. We went back. So what makes Tin City a house act and not just a modern disco group? Explain that.
We brought our own unique personality to it.
Yeah.
The stories we wrote about were real stories. Okay. You know, suspicious. What you gonna do? Yeah. Somebody girlfriend was out there. Yeah, that's all real stories. Right. It's not some fake facade. Okay. You know. Right. And then being able to push the record button. Right. When Byron's singing. Yeah. And it's like if the story's about him, to get that emotion, like. Right. How motherfucking hell was it? Yeah. So you get that. Yeah. So it's really bringing the authentic out. Yeah. As opposed to just, you know, we're trying to make a hit. Yeah. You know, just keep it real. Yeah. Because the one thing I know is that sometimes the things that we feel embarrassed about or ashamed of, right, we think we're the only one going through it. Right. But to be vulnerable and just kind of like put it out there, yeah, you know, you see not the only one that's going through it, but I'm like, man, you know, that song helped me. Yeah, that got me through. You know?
Absolutely. So take us to the process of the whole first album of Tin City. What was the feeling like? What was the response? Because I remember when Devotion came out, man, and when I first heard it, Frankie had played it because he played his mix of it, and I swear I thought it was an old disco record that I ain't never heard of. Ran up to the booth when he was playing it, and he was like, "Nah, this is a group from Chicago called Tin City." So take us to the process of that first song, developing that while y'all was in the studio. Give me some details about that.
Okay, so we recorded that at Chicago Tracks Up North. We had Ron Gresham as one of the engineers. Okay. And like I said, when we get the final product done, right. Matter of fact, as far as the string players, I believe there were like 2 or 3 college students that played the violins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And as you get into the State of Mind album, that's when we used the Chicago Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But for that one, we used like 3 college students. They might have went to college with Byron Stingley because he was going to. Man, it's in Forest Park, Rose something, whatever. In any case, I believe those students came from his university. Okay. And then, you know, finally get the final version out to New York. Yeah.
Now, were they acceptable of the album when y'all first turned it in? Atlantic?
Well, here's the thing: we were not going to even do an album on Atlantic.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we weren't going to. So The deal was Marlon Boss said, you know what? You guys give me a single, we'll try to get you a deal.
Right.
Did Devotion. You know what? Give me another single. So that's when we did Right Back to You. On the flip side, One Kiss to Make It Better.
Right.
Then they said, you know what? We need another single. You know what? Island Records want to offer us a deal.
Right.
So if you're not finna give us an album, we finna go to Island Records.
So they really didn't feel it pushing
no,
or anything
not at all,
like that?
no.
Okay.
Because matter of fact, the deal, Pump Up Divide, Mars, that was supposed to be our deal.
Really?
Yeah, they was going to give us that deal. We turned that down.
Wow.
So they said, you know what, guys, we finna give you $8,000 to do the album. Fine.
Right.
So we did the album in a month.
Okay.
It was done. Done.
So in the studio at that time, you, Byron Stingley, Marshall Jefferson?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The four of us.
Right.
So, yeah, they sent us $8,000. We did it in a month and kicked it back at them. And that's the way Love is. I remember it was in like June or July. Because I know it was the summertime. Marshall gave me his Yamaha QX1 sequencer, that big. Right, you ever mess with that?
Yeah.
Oh, that dinosaur sequencer. I had just bought my Roland 707, and I had Marshall's Roland Jakes AP keyboard.
Okay.
So I'm at home in the bedroom.
Right.
I'll come with the idea. And mind you, I'm not a keyboard player.
Yeah.
I'm like 18, 19.
Right.
So I, struggled to get the little chords together for That's the Way Love Is. I'm sitting there, I got the thing together. I just start crying like a baby. Like, wow. Wow. One, I'm happy about what I did.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I kind of feel this. And I wasn't going to let Byron, I wasn't going to let the guys hear it. I was like, you know what? They're not going to like it.
Right.
So I let them hear it. It's like, well, it's cool. We went into a studio in Oak Park. Chris Cuban did the demo.
Right.
Sent it to Merlin. He said, you know what? Go ahead, go in the studio, finish that one. Then once we finished that version, sent it out to him. That's when he got Tim Regisford involved.
Right.
They brought in. So I'm not the one playing the keyboards on the piano and all that. So I'm keeping it real.
Right.
I'm not the one doing all that.
Right.
I wasn't no tech at that time. So,
right.
Whoever they brought in, they laced it, and then that was the first single for the album.
So now, did the first single come out as what you guys did in the studio, or did Hurley's version remix come out at the same time?
They all came at the same time.
Okay, so who invited Hurley to do the remix on that one? Steve said Hurley.
It had to be Marshall or Byron.
Okay.
Because I knew Steve.
Right.
But I didn't know Steve, from playing at the Bismarck Hotel or the Hotel Continental. We was all on the Hot Mix 5, so in that circle. But, I didn't know Steve.
Right.
It had to be Marshall or Byron Stingley.
Yeah. So at that time, did they do a video for That's the Way Love Is?
We did the video in London.
In London? So was Atlantic supporting that video?
Yeah. They supported it because when you in the music industry, you had to be in the UK 2 weeks before your release.
Yeah.
So we were over there like maybe 3 weeks before the release, and this guy was just like, I forget the guy's name, a brother who did the video. He's like, so I want to do your guys' video.
Right.
All right, cool. You all in, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing to working with a producer, where it's a video producer or a song producer, that you in the conversation of the creativity, the creative aspect of it. So he did an excellent job.
So what records was really huge over in the UK at this time, which on your first album?
That's the Way Love Is was big. Of course, Devotion. That's the cult classic.
Right.
Right Back to You did very well.
Oh, okay. So take us to the process, like doing the album. This is your first tour, right? Mm-hmm. If y'all did the tour over there, take us to the process on when you first heard about that, and y'all was like, y'all going on tour in the UK.
That is the most intoxicating, exhilarating experience ever.
Right.
To looking at how you create the song. Yeah. To like seeing people like screaming and shouting and like, wow, this is cool. Doing Top of the Pops. Yeah. Several times.
Right. Yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling. Yeah. But the downside of it. Okay. And this is what I believe all artists deal with. You have this splash bang. Yeah. And you get all the support. Right. And then when you get the down period, everything kind of slows down.
Slow down. Yeah.
And then you do your next one. It's kind of it's either yeah. So you can get caught up in the hype really easy
because you always want that first high all the time.
Yeah, it's like the first kiss. Oh, I remember the first time I bust one. You want that,
right? Yeah. So how much were you guys on the road during that time?
We were on the road a lot.
Okay.
So just looking at, after we did, I'm trying to think, coming out as 10th City, we started doing a lot of track dates in New York and New Jersey.
Okay.
So we were out like almost every weekend.
Right.
You know, making, you know, 15 to 25,000 every weekend doing track dates. Yeah. That's amazing. That is amazing. That back time, then. Yeah. You know, yeah. So like one night we could do like 7 clubs. Wow. Limo up. Oh yeah. So 15 minutes on the reel on. Get the money. Get the limo. Go. We was gone.
Right. So what shows, or any of the shows that you did, what shows stand out the most to you?
Zanzibar, Jersey, Bentleys.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now explain why.
Well, one, the sound system. I hate to say, New York on sound systems,
right?
Had get Chicago, get down,
right?
Sound system amazing.
Yeah.
The energy, it's a different energy.
Okay.
It's a totally different energy. And
that's
what I mean
Tony Humphries DJing, Zanzibar.
So what I mean by the energy is that, like, we know what the energy was like at the Chosen Few event.
Right.
Okay. The energy in New York, I would say, people go more into themselves.
Yeah.
Meaning, when they come to hear music, it's them and the music.
Right.
Fuck everybody else. I don't care if I got holes in my socks or shoes. I'm here to relieve and just take this entire journey, this spiritual journey, and get whatever I got on my system out my system, and just the dancing is just, you know, the dancing styles, you know, with the baby powder on the floor and the sliding and stuff. It's like, man, check the wood floor. So so it's more conducive for a dancer. Yeah, I'm a dancer, so So when I create music, I'm thinking of what's gonna make that person dance. If the person's into the beat, so that's something I know is very distinctive between the energies in Chicago and New York. Okay, so those clubs emulated that. Even Bentley's, that was a money. You know, those are like the posh. Right. Yo, you coming in, your hair getting messed up. Yeah. You ain't finna hold that hair.
Right. So after the first album, so you did a total of how many albums on Atlantic?
We did 3 albums on Atlantic. So the Foundation album, the State of Mind album was Atlantic. Right. And then Sylvia Rome, who at that time, she was the president or something like that for the black division for Atlantic. Right. Now, she was getting ready to... Then they gave her own label that started was East West Records. That's right. So in her Keyman clause, she was able to take certain artists over to East West. So she took us, Levert, Mickey Howard, I want to say Escape. Okay. It's like 5 or 6 groups that in her contract clause we went over there. Nice. So the third album was on East West, and that was the No House Big Enough. Okay. No House Big Enough. Right. And then, I know she don't like me, I don't care. So we were trying to get off Atlantic. Okay. We didn't want to do the third album.
You said Sylvia don't like you.
She don't like me. Okay. I don't care. That's why they call me Be Rude. Right. I love you. So we like, okay, this is game plan. We getting off of this label because they not respecting us. Okay. So we all charged up. Right. We had, I think Doc Brown's our manager. Right. Rick Smith, he was the manager. New Edition. Okay. What's her name? Jewish lady. She's a bomb. She's like one of the top dogs in the industry as attorney.
In Chicago?
No, Ina Maybach.
Oh, okay.
She's like, Hitman, the book Hitman. Right. She's in that book. Okay. So she was our lawyer, and then of course me, Byron Burke. So we all in there. So Sylvia's like, so baby, what you saying is our fault? Yeah, you just take our music, just throw it out there. I threw a magazine. You just take our music, just throw it out. You don't do shit for us. Right. You just throw it out there. You giving out points away to other artists. Wow. So now she like, okay, I know they not gonna do anything with this album because I didn't clown. Yeah. And then Herb said, oh, so what's wrong with our music? Gotta do another album. As soon as he said that, and then they're like, well, if you do this, and you're like, man, why you say that? Right. You got us locked in. Right.
So, wow.
So Byron and Herb were like, you know what? Let's do a garbage album. So we got no, we don't do a garbage album.
Yeah,
that's free money to do a resume.
Okay.
If y'all don't want to, if y'all want to drop the ball, fine. I will put the work in to give all I have because I know we can get at least $250,000 for the next deal.
Right.
Columbia, $250,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to do your best.
Yeah. Because
you do some garbage and I see why they dropped you.
Right.
No, you got to get, in everything you do, give your best. I've always been a stickler. Give your very best.
Right.
So that's how we get to Columbia and to get the fourth album.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. After Sin City went on like a hiatus, did you ever think about doing a solo album yourself?
I thought about it. Matter of fact, I did. But I wasn't really comfortable with myself.
Right.
I didn't fully love myself.
Okay.
To where I'm at right now, like, you know what, Byron, you have nothing to lose.
Right.
And I'm not the world's greatest singer. I don't have to sing the album, but as far as production,
right,
I got some ideas.
Yeah.
To make it happen.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Uh-huh.
That's gotta happen. That has to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So at that time after 10 City, take us to what happened with Byron Burke after that.
So we did our last show November 4th of '94 in the club in Hamburg, Germany.
Okay.
And the guy that brought us over there, his name was Michael Suter, who franchised a brand Cause and Effect from Italy, Rimini, Italy.
Mauricio Clemente.
Massimo.
Right.
So for that particular gig, I told Mike, yo, you know what? So the last gig with 10 City, I want to spin.
Okay.
So as soon as we finished, we think we did That's the Way Love Is or Devotion's last song.
Right.
I didn't even bow on stage with the guy. I just grabbed my crate, went down turntable. This is it. We done.
That's it, huh?
Dang, I know he could play. Yeah, I could play.
Right.
So from there, Michael Studer started booking me over to Germany doing some gigs.
Okay.
And like I said, I had my condo in Oak Park at the time, and me and my fiance at the time had to go through some stuff. And Mike was booking me for a gig over there. I just happened to call him like, "Hey, Mike, I just want to thank you for booking the gigs." So it's like, "What's going on with you?" So I explained what's going on.
Right.
He said, "Well, why don't you come over here? Huh? Why don't you come to Germany? I can use your help with the booking agency." I don't know. I got my daughter. I got my equipment. Yeah, you can. I know you got your daughter. I can make sure you get money. There every month.
Right.
Your equipment. We'll ship it over. Anything else you need to get.
Yeah.
I'll just buy it because he's a millionaire.
Right.
So I said, you know what? Give me a minute. Let me talk to my mom. I said, if my mom would have said, Byron, no, you know what? She said, Byron, no, go.
Right.
I said, what about my daughter, Lexi? No, she going to be fine. Go.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah.
And that piece, and she was sick at the time.
Right.
So my mom said that. I was like, Mike, all right, I'm up. So like 2 or 3 weeks later, I was out, moved to Germany.
Wow.
So that was in October the 20th when I landed in Germany.
Okay, and then how long did you live out there for?
I was there from like October to, I'm going to say September of '97.
Okay.
And that's when my life took a dramatic change.
Okay.
So, again, I'm over there. So the first event that we did in Germany was the Marlboro DJ Academy.
Right.
And that's where we get all the top major clubs in the major cities in Germany.
Right.
And then I brought over the top DJs from America to oversee like the actual contest. So what we did was we picked the eight best DJs in each city.
Right.
And then we flew over the top American DJs for the actual battle, and whoever won that battle opened up for that star DJ.
Oh, nice.
So I brought over Farley, Tyree Cooper, Masters at Work, Dan Tenaglia, Benji Candelario, Ralphie,
Rosario,
Rafi Rosario. This was other DJs.
Yeah.
So for the final, because matter of fact, because me and now in that particular tour, they spent millions of dollars on marketing.
Right.
Kiosks. We had trucks wrapped.
Right.
Billboards. Each city.
Right.
So me and Tyree, we did Dusseldorf.
Okay.
And then Kenny and Louie, they opened up for the first night of the tour in Würzburg, the airport club. But in any case, at the end of the actual, when it came down to the actual battle, the star DJs were Denny Tenaglia and Benji Candelario, and then the winner of that battle, we flew over back to America, and I had them play at the Sound Factory bar.
Ah, okay.
So that was the first thing,
right?
And then doing, bringing all. We had the #1 booking agency in Germany at the time.
Okay.
And matter of fact, it was a magazine called Parties On. It was so bad.
Right.
They had me as a monkey. Oh, you're that monkey. Whatever.
Oh, wow. Get out of here.
But did that, and I began to notice that all the artists and DJs that I'm bringing over, they not talking to me. So I discovered that Michael Suter was taking the contacts I was bringing over and slandering my name.
Oh.
When I found that out,
right.
Besides his girlfriend making a racist statement, to one of the other clients,
right.
I said, you know what? What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in the studio, break the whole studio down. All my equipment on one side, all his equipment on the other side.
Right.
I did this letter. You gotta pay me $150,000 if this shit is done.
Right.
He came to my apartment, which he owned the entire 3rd floor.
Yeah.
With his lawyer and said, you got to get out right now.
Oh. With all your stuff.
Oh. With a bag and 2 crates of records.
That's it.
That's it.
So he kept all your rest of your gear.
Kicked me off the premises on the spot. No cash, none of that stuff. So now I'm like a nigga free.
Oh, wow.
In another country.
Right.
So I've struggled from 97 even to this date.
Wow.
Yeah, I have not been able to stand firmly on the ground since that fucking date.
Oh my goodness, B. Wow.
Moved to New York.
Okay.
I was in New York from 97 to 2003. I'm living homeless, all type of shit. No money, didn't know how, all type of stuff.
So why didn't you just come back here, man, and try to?
I ain't had no place here.
Wow. Okay. Right.
There was no place.
Now, did anybody know that, or did you reach out to anybody?
Okay. Not really.
Okay.
I mean, those who were there, like Benji, Don Welch, that was, that I connected with. They knew what I was going on.
Right.
No, I was just fucking out there.
Yeah.
Wow. Out there, homeless.
Oh my god.
Didn't know where my next meal's gonna come from.
See that?
But I look good though. I went through all that, baby.
So take us from there to present right now. So
I just got out of Cook County, fighting an attempt murder case.
Okay.
Because this guy that's supposed to be my friend drugged me.
Right.
So I was there. The incident happened July 29th of 17.
Okay, 2017.
Yep. Then my feet touched the ground at Cook County, August the 1st. I was in Division 11, Max, Super Max.
Right.
I stayed in the cell majority of the time.
Right.
Did my studies, praying, meditating, learning legal work and everything.
Yes, sir.
Learned the law, not from the space of learning statutes and stuff like that. I began to understand how they make their money, based upon a class I took in 1999 going to Stanford University.
Right.
So at that time, my first wife worked for United Airlines, so I used to take, and this is going through all that time I didn't really have a place to stay.
Yeah.
I would take a 7:15 flight from LaGuardia Airport, fly all the way to Stanford University for a 2-hour course called Biz 16 started from idea to IPO, basically teaching you how to take an idea and make it a public company and everything.
Right.
And that understanding of what it takes to research a company, how they make their own money, that was my full approach to Cook County.
Right.
How do y'all make your money?
Yeah.
What's the laws and things? And I'm like, oh, y'all wrong. Y'all wrong as hell.
Right.
Oh, I'm finna get you.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring it to your face.
Right.
And matter of fact, at that final affidavit, several days later, my judge was on CBS News for a battery charge. Because I had his ass in a RICO. Him, the state prosecutor, and the court reporter. Y'all lied.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they went crazy.
Well, man, it's good to know that you're back on your feet, getting on your feet. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see you. And when I saw it, I'm like, I had to get your story out, man, because people don't know. Mm-hmm. People can talk and assume a lot of things. And this is what the show is about hearing it from the horse's mouth, and not getting it rumored or people talking behind your back.
Right.
You right here, right now, telling your story, man. I think, and I'm honored and I'm privileged that you were comfortable to do this on the show, man, and I appreciate that.
No problem. There's a lot of people like, oh, you got cancer. Yeah, I got smoldering multiple myeloma, bone marrow cancer. It's the type of cancer you look at, termites inside the wood.
Right.
It's eating everything inside out through my whole entire skeletal system. Like, oh, this is numb. But knowing that Like I'm so sad. Why? I'm not.
Yeah.
Because one, I'm a realist.
Right.
Everybody on the face of this earth is gonna pass away.
Right.
And who's to say that cancer is gonna be the thing that kills me? I can walk down these stairs and escort you down with the stuff and trip down the stairs.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking at cancer gonna be the thing to take me out.
Right.
Period.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Hey, brother, I'm praying for the best.
Thank you, sir.
For all just good for you, man. And like I said, it's this house culture that we got into that made us the way we are right now. Mm-hmm. So, anything you need from me, you got it, brother. Just ask me.
Appreciate it.
And I'm here for you. I appreciate you doing the show, B.
Anytime.
Is there anything else you want to get anything cleared while you're on the show right now?
All right. First of all you people in the house music scene, y'all need to get y'all shit together. All this ego stuffing, I'm not finna be no advocate about, I'm this, I'm that. What I'm about is supporting. If I show up, if I pull up and see you, I'm here to support you. All this stardom and shit, you ain't shit. Get over it. Grow the fuck up. This is a movement, like it says. What's that thing from Jack? No one owns house. Right. You don't own house. I don't own house. It's our house music. So it's time for us to start sharing each other's information, posting stuff like that. If you too big for that, fuck you. I ain't got no time for you. I'm about supporting the movement. I'm looking for soldiers. All of us are in our 50s or 60s and have no fucking retirement plan. All that shit's out there with EDM and all that other shit. So don't get mad at me. Wake the fuck up, Shelby. We got to get our motherfucking money. Period. Because we got it from disco R&B. They got it from us. They got our shit. So stop bitching and stop acting like you all that. We all together. Period. Get together. Hello.
Oh my God. Hey, on that note, thank you very much. I love you, my brother. I appreciate you. And I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Peace.